बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम स्टूडेंट्स। आज का आपका लेक्चर फॉर डेटाबेस मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम्स। We're going to be focusing on and studying the databases tables, how to create tables, हमने data को tables में कैसे रखना है, and we're going to further elaborate normalization. उससे पहले we're going to discuss the anomalies that occur in our databases. Anomalies, जैसे the name suggests, it's some sort of thing that goes wrong, some undesired thing is called an anomaly, जिसकी वजह से हमें डेटा में कोई मुश्किल पेश आ सकती है, तो वो anomaly होता है. There are many types of anomalies that we're going to look at. For example, update, deletion, insertion. ये सारी anomalies हम discuss करेंगे. उसके बाद we're going to see how with the help of normalization we can reduce these anomalies. So let's head quickly to the lecture. इस lecture में further हम elaborate करेंगे. We already did 1NF, 2NF. We're going to elaborate 3NF and BCNF in databases. So normalization is a process of organizing the data in database to avoid data redundancy, insertion anomaly, update anomaly and deletion anomaly. तो normalization की help से हम data redundancy, which you guys already know what is, and insertion anomaly, जिसको हम discuss करेंगे, and update and deletion anomaly, इनको reduce करेंगे. तो हम normal forms को discuss करेंगे with the help of some examples. Anomalies in database देखते हैं. There are three types of anomalies that occur when the database is not normalized. जब हमारा database normalized नहीं होता तो we have to face the insertion, update and deletion anomalies. So let's take a look, and with the help of examples let's see what these anomalies are. Okay, so यहाँ पे मेरे पास एक schema है, एक table है. So you guys can just make your own table. अगर आपको मैं एक example do, a question do, for example, there is an organization called, I don't know, Pan Valley Furnitures. तो उसमें मैं आपको बताऊं, they have employees जिसके हमने store करने हैं, employee ID, employee name, employee address and employee department. ठीक है, उसके अंदर मैं आपको further in cells, in columns का data दे दूं. For example, आपको 4-5 में employees दे दूं. Number 1, Rick, his ID is 101, his address is whatever, and department is D001. इसी तरह मैं आपको 4-5 employees की information दे दूं, data दे दूं. उसके बाद आपने उसको इस form में लिखना है, in the form of a table and in the form of a schema, just like a normal Excel sheet. आप लोगों ने employee ID, name, address and department just simply आप लोगों ने लिख देना है, उसके अंदर उसके data को, इस table को populate कर देना है. So this is how a database table looks like. It's simple, just enter the data in a row, in column, just like an Excel sheet. So I hope you guys know how to make a database table schema. It's really simple. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to use these tables as examples. Suppose a manufacturing company stores the employee details in a table named employee. So this is my table. The name of the table is employee. It has 4 attributes, which is employee ID for storing employee's ID, name, address and department for storing the department details in which the employee works at. Okay, so the table looks like this. So we know this table is not normalized. Abhi ye just the table contains the information, the attributes of the employees. It's not normalized, it's not processed, it's just a simple table. So इसके अंदर हमें जो problems face होंगी, because it's not normalized, let's look into those. इसके अंदर हमें 3 तीन anomalies face हो सकती हैं. First, let's talk about the update anomaly. In the above table, we have two rows for the employee Rick. So let's look at the employee Rick. You guys see कि हमारे manufacturing company में जो employee Rick है, here you see he has two entries, Rick. Why? Because he works in two departments, department D001 and department D002. So if an employee works in two departments, he is going to be uh, inserted twice because he's working in two departments. So let's look into this. In the above table, we have two rows for employee Rick, as he belongs to two departments of the company. So, agar we're looking at the update anomaly, we see that Rick is in two rows. अगर हम उसका एड्रेस चेंज करना चाहते हैं तो we have to update the same in two rows or the data will become inconsistent. For example, अगर मैं रिक का एड्रेस चेंज करके I want to write for example I want to write Jhelum city, so यहाँ पे Jhelum city हो जाएगा और यहाँ पे you see और यहाँ पे दिल्ली सिटी होगा. So okay, so our company wants to store the names and contact details of its employees. हमारी company है और उसका एक table है called employees. It stores the employee ID, employee name, employee address and employee mobile number. So we're going to check it for any if it's not abiding the first normalization form. So we see that there are two employees here, John and Lester. John and Lester have two mobile numbers. Lester also has two mobile numbers, which does not conform for the first normalization form. The first normalization form says all values in a table should be atomic. So do you guys see if this is atomic or not? This is an atomic value. It's single. Having two mobile numbers does not conform to the 1NF form. So this table is not in 1NF. As the rule says, each attribute of a table must have atomic single values. The employee mobile values for John and Lester violate this rule. To make the table comply with 1F, we should have the table like this. So this is the normalized form. We look at John and we look at Lester, and we're writing their entries twice, but the mobile numbers are changing. To convert it into the first normalization form, first हम इसके जो mobile number होगा, with the help of this we're going to duplicate the table, the data, but we're going to change the mobile number. So this is the first normalization form. अब ये हो गया in the first normalization form. Now the second step is to make our data more better and remove inconsistency. We're going to try to make it take it to the second normal form. A table is said to be in the second normal form if both the following conditions hold. First of all, the prerequisite is it should be in the first normal form, and second is no non-prime attribute is dependent on the proper subset of any candidate key of the table. An attribute that is not part of any candidate key is known as non-prime attribute. Okay, let's take a look at prime attributes. तो यहाँ पे we know what a candidate key is. A candidate key वो होती है that has the potential of being a super key. और super key we know what a super key is. It's a unique key जिससे हम अपने टेबल के वो attribute होता है जो unique होता है जिससे हम बाकी reference कर सकते हैं, because we can call it and find the desired data based on the unique attribute. We know that when we run the query, we're going to find the correct result because of the unique attribute. So a candidate key is those keys who have the potential of being super keys. मतलब अगर मेरे पास एक student ID है तो that's unique. उसके बाद if I have what else is unique? Student registration number is also unique. और उसके बाद what else would be in the candidate key set? Student ID and student name also that is also unique. इन दोनों को अगर मैं join करके एक candidate key बनाऊं, so that's part of the set. What I'm trying to say that here in the second normalization form, first rule that we must abide is the table should be first normalization form. Second is no non-prime attribute is dependent on the proper subset of the candidate key table. What this means is an attribute that is not part of any candidate key is known as non-prime attribute. So जो भी हमारा attribute candidate key का हिस्सा नहीं है, it's not one of the candidate keys, so it's not going to be considered as a prime attribute. So there should be no prime attribute here. We have to break that down. Suppose a school wants to store the data of teachers and the subjects they teach. They create a table that looks like this. Since the teacher can teach more than one subject, the table can have multiple rows for a same teacher. So multiple rows for the same teacher here are, we see the teacher ID 1111 and 3333. So teacher ID is a prime attribute because we know IDs are always unique. No two teachers can have the same ID. Subject on the other half, it's not a prime ID, not a prime attribute. Teacher's age is not a prime attribute. But if we join the teacher ID and teacher subject, yes, this can be a candidate key. Okay, let's look at the candidate keys. It's teacher ID and subject. So this is one. The set for the teacher ID and subject together is also a candidate key. The teacher ID is the super key. Teacher ID and the subject together are the candidate keys. Which is the non-prime attribute? Age. Age is not prime. Teachers can have multiple age, the same age. Also the teachers can have the same subject, but when we join it to the teacher ID like this, it becomes a candidate key because we're checking for the ID and subject. The table above is in first normalization form because each attribute has atomic values. Because we see कि किसी भी attribute में non-atomic values नहीं है, no multiple data, so it conforms to the requirement of first normalization form. Okay, it is not in second normalization form because non-prime attribute teacher age is dependent on teacher ID alone, which is a proper subset of candidate key. This violates the rule of 2NF. The rule of 2NF says no non-prime attribute is dependent on any proper subset of a candidate key of the table. Okay, जब मैं इसकी एग्जांपल दूंगा तो आप लोग को और क्लियर हो जाएगा. टू मेक द टेबल कंप्लाई टू 2NF वी ब्रेक इट इनटू टू टेबल्स. फर्स्ट हम इसके दो टेबल बनाएंगे. पहले टीचर आईडी एंड टीचर एज. वी सी द teacher ID 1122 and 33 with the age 38, 38 and 40. We see that the teacher with ID 11 has the age 38, 222 38 and 333 40. So we normalize the table into the teacher's details tables. तो जब हमें टीचर की डिटेल्स चाहिए होंगी हम इस टेबल से उसे रेफरेंस कर सकते हैं. दिस इज अ सेकंड नॉर्मलाइज्ड फॉर्म टेबल. उसके बाद व्हाट आर वी गोइंग टू डू विद द अदर सब्जेक्ट part? We're going to create another table called teacher subject. इसमें हमारे सब सब्जेक्ट्स होंगे मैथ्स, फिजिक्स, बायोलॉजी, केमिस्ट्री एंड फिजिक्स. ओके, मैथ्स, फिजिक्स, बायोलॉजी, फिजिक्स एंड केमिस्ट्री. Alright, the teacher with ID 1111 is teaching the subject maths. With 111 is also teaching the subject physics. 222 is biology, 333 is physics, and 333 is chemistry. Okay, so we see the first table, when it's normalized into the second form, it's reduced into two more tables with the keys that are dependent on the other. So our teacher ID is always the super key. Teacher age and teacher subject were dependent of this key. So हमने इसको reduce करके दो tables में बना दिया. So whenever we want to reference the teacher's details, we can reference the age from the teacher ID, and whenever we want to reference the subject, we can also reference it from the teacher ID. Okay, now let's see if the table complies with the third normal form. It does comply with the second normal form. Now we're going to be moving to the third normal form. A table is said to be in third normal form if both the following conditions hold. First of all, we know table must be in second normal form. Second, the transitive functional dependency of non-prime attributes on a superkey should be removed. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि there should be no dependency on a superkey of a non-prime attribute. So we know a prime attribute belongs to a candidate key, and we should not have any transitive function dependency. What a transitive function dependency is: x belongs to y. Any value of x, if it belongs to y, it's a functional dependency. इस example में हम देखते हैं x is a super key of a table and y is a prime attribute of table. So in other words, 3NF can be explained. A table is in 3NF if it is in second normal form, and for each functional dependency where x belongs to y, at least one of the following conditions hold. X is a super key of the table. इन दोनों में या तो x super key of the table हो या second y is a prime attribute of the table. So अगर कोई भी फंक्शनल डिपेंडेंसी है हमारे टेबल में, या तो x को सुपर की होना चाहिए या तो y को एक प्राइम एट्रीब्यूट होना चाहिए. एंड द प्राइम एट्रीब्यूट वी डिस्कस बिलो. It's an attribute that does not occur in any candidate key, is called a non-prime attribute. So if it does occur in the candidate key, it's a prime attribute. Okay. In this example से ये चीज़ें और clear होती हैं. Sometimes we don't get the theory part, but from the example we understand it. Suppose the company wants to store the complete address of each employee. They create a table named employee details that looks like this. हमारे टेबल में employee ID है, employee name है, employee का zip code है, employee की state है, employee की city है, and the district. So we have a table with the employee details like this. This is the table called employee details. यहाँ की super keys, let's identify the super keys. Or in a question you will be given the super keys like this. So the super key is employee ID, and first of all the employee IDs are super key. all of these are the candidate keys. uh, this is the candidate key. All of these is the set of the super keys. Employee ID alone is a super key. Employee ID with the employee name is a super key. Employee ID, employee name, employee zip. So these three, they belong to the super key subsets. Uske baad the candidate key is the employee ID because it has the potential of being the unique ID, the primary key. A non-primary attribute, non-prime attribute, all the attributes except employee ID are non-prime as they are not part of any candidate key. Okay, यहाँ पर हमने ये देखा है कि the employee state, employee city and employee district, these are all part of addresses, so they are dependent on zip, employee zip. और उसके बाद we see that they are transitively dependent on a super key called employee ID. This violates the rule of 3NF. To make this table comply with 3NF, we break down the table into two tables. So pehle we have a table with the employee ID, employee name and employee zip. And second we have a zip table, employee zip table, जिससे address की सारी details आती. So the employee zip table has the employee zip, employee state, employee city and employee district. Okay, so now our tables are divided into two. एक हमारा employee table हो गया, एक हमारा zip table हो गया. So none of these are dependent. Employee ID, employee name, employee zip, that's a separate table. Employee zip table with all the attributes which are part of the address. हम देखते हैं कि zip code, state, city, district ये मिलके address बनते हैं. So since the zip code is the candidate key here, तो इसके साथ हमने बाकी keys को associate करके identify करने के लिए if क्योंकि एक zip code एक certain state का होता है और city का होता है और we can identify all of these through a zip code. क्योंकि अगर इसका zip code कोई भी और होगा, it's if it has another zip code, it's going to belong to another state, or it can have the same state but it's going to be in the different city or the different district. So that's how we convert this into 3NF and the dependencies are removed. Or in the employee table, हम employee की ID के through उसका name and zip we can reference that. The last is the Boyce Codd normal form. ये भी 3NF की तरह but it's just more advanced. It's also called the 3.5NF. The difference between 3NF and BCNF is, and for every functional dependency where X belongs to Y, X should be the super key of the table. This is mandatory. So that means हमने उन tables को और reduce करना है. हमने tables को reduce करके और उनको break down करना है. तो let's look at the example. Suppose there is a company wherein employees work in more than one department. They store the data like this: employee ID, nationality, department type and department of the employee. यहाँ पे the functional dependencies are employee ID and employee nationality, employee department and employee ID belongs to employee nationality, employee department belongs to department type, department number of an employee. This is also a single key. This is also a subset of the department. The candidate key is employee ID and employee department. Again, this is considered as one. जब हमने इनको मिला के एक की बनानी है, that means इन दोनों की बेस पे हम reference कर सकते हैं, not alone. The table is not in BCNF as neither employee ID nor employee department alone are keys. So what the condition was, the X should be the super key of the table. उसके बाद हमने इन tables को break down करना है. To comply with the BCNF, we can break the tables into three tables. First, the employee ID and the employee nationality. Second, first हमने employee nationality table बनाना है, employee department table बनाना है, and the last, the department mapping table. The employee nationality and the employee ID are in one table. Second is the employee department, department type, and department number of an employee. You guys see that all these tables that go together are closely related. A employee department will have a type, department type, and it will have a number, department number. That's why they're going together, because they're depending on each other. एक डिपार्टमेंट होगी तो उसकी टाइप होगी और एक डिपार्टमेंट टाइप का भी कोई डिपार्टमेंट नंबर होगा. आफ्टर दैट द एम्प्लॉय डिपार्टमेंट मैपिंग टेबल, जिसमें हमने एम्प्लॉयज की डिपार्टमेंट को मैप करना है, विच ऑल्सो गोज विद द एम्प्लॉय आईडी. बेस्ड ऑन द एम्प्लॉय आईडी हम उसको कोई डिपार्टमेंट असाइन कर सकते हैं. सो इट्स जस्ट ब्रोकन डाउन इनटू 3 पार्ट्स. It's more, there's more reduction of dependency here. The functional dependencies were employee ID and employee nationality, employee department belongs to, department type, department number of the employee. So हमने इन function dependency के base पे हमने ये tables reduce किए. Employee, one table with the employee ID and nationality, one table with the employee department and department type, department number of the employee. अब कैंडिडेट कीज को देख लेते हैं. पहले टेबल पे द कैंडिडेट की इज एम्प्लॉय आईडी, second is the employee department, or for the third table employee ID and the employee department. This is now BCNF, as in both the functional dependencies left side part is a key. Okay, so this is normalization completely in this lecture done. Now in the next lectures we're going to focus on how to create these tables, map these tables, schemas, and after that we're going entirely on the theory part, in the practical part, which is MySQL.